The best way to learn a language is by living a great story. The one you are about to hear in English isn't just about success and failure, it's about what comes after. He built a digital empire in 12 months, and it took him less than 6 to see it turn to dust. This is the story of a genius who flew too close to the sun and the brutal, valuable lesson he learned in the ashes. At his peak, Raj, at 30, was the king of his universe. From his Brooklyn loft, with Manhattan at his feet, he watched his productivity app, FocusFlow, dominate the market. It was a resounding success, 2 million downloads, a TechCrunch cover story, the darling of the tech world. But success can be a terrible teacher. Intoxicated by praise, Raj stopped listening to the only voice that mattered, his users. The mountain of feedback about bugs was ignored. Requests for simplicity were answered with new, complex, unnecessary features. The fall was as swift as the rise, a mass exodus of users, followed by a cold call from investors. The money flow had dried up. Months later, the loft overlooking Manhattan was a memory. Raj's refuge was now a quiet cafe in the East Village. The Flourished Spoon, hidden in a corner, he stared at his laptop screen. Not with pride, but with deep shame. On the screen, a headline from a tech blog that once celebrated him. FocusFlow, the app that died of success. Raj was so immersed in his misery that he didn't notice the woman who stopped beside his table. It was Nina, a businesswoman in her late 40s and a constant figure at the cafe. She glanced at Raj's laptop screen, at the cruel headline, then at his defeated face. With a calm, firm voice, offering not pity but a strange kind of respect, she said, "I read the article. Your app failed, but you didn't." Raj looked up, surprised. Nina continued, sitting uninvited. "My first app, a delivery service, went bankrupt in 3 weeks. 3. I lost all the investors' money and my own. It was brutal." She paused, and a glint of resilience appeared in her eyes. "But in that failure, I gained the most valuable thing in my career, the complete, detailed map of every road that leads to the abyss. A map of what not to do." She then took a notebook from her bag and placed it on the table. "You're looking at your failure as a tombstone," she said. "But it's not a tombstone, it's a textbook. The most expensive and important one you'll ever read." She pushed the notebook toward him. "So, here's your challenge. Go back to your office, open your failed code, and analyze it, line by line. Every bug, every user feedback you ignored is a hidden lesson. Note each one." Raj accepted the notebook, more out of wounded pride than conviction. Returning to his office, now silent and haunted by the ghost of failure, to face the code that ruined him seemed the worst form of humiliation. The first days were a bitter autopsy. Angrily, he began to write, and each line in the notebook was a monument to his arrogance. Bugs 347. Users hate the bold colors I chose. Feedback send 512. The calendar function I loved was, apparently, useless. Each note was like rubbing salt in the wound. But around the 15th day of his forced immersion in failure, something began to change. He stopped seeing bugs as individual errors. He started to see a pattern, a clear signal amid the noise of his own ego. Users weren't complaining about dozens of different things. In hundreds of different ways, they were all asking for the same thing: simplicity. They didn't want more features, more buttons, more colors. They wanted less. They wanted the essence. Raj's anger transformed into an excitement he hadn't felt since the early days of FocusFlow. The notebook that was a diary of humiliation became a blueprint for innovation. He was no longer documenting a failure. He was discovering the blueprint for his next success. So Raj turned to a blank page and with the frantic hand of an inspired artist, scribbled a new name, a new philosophy, born directly from the ashes of his mistake. Minimal flow. The beauty of the essential. Raj didn't need months of development this time. The blueprint was ready, written in the pages of his failure diary. Working with renewed energy, born from humility, not ego. He built Minimal Flow in 30 days. It wasn't an app with dozens of features. It was the opposite. It had a clean, clear interface, and only 3 essential functions, the only 3 that users, through their mistakes, had begged him to keep. It was courageously simple. He launched it without fanfare, but simplicity was the marketing. Users, tired of cluttered apps, embraced Minimal Flow. Downloads skyrocketed. 5-star reviews flooded the App Store, all praising the same thing. Finally, an app that does what it promises, and nothing more. The same tech blog that had written his obituary now published his redemption. The headline was ironic and perfect. Minimal Flow, the failure that turned to gold. Success attracted attention. A competitor, the same one that benefited from his downfall, made an offer to acquire the new startup. The value, double what FocusFlow was worth at its peak. It was the final validation, complete victory. But as he looked at the offer in his email, at the numbers representing his redemption, Raj didn't feel the euphoria he expected. He hesitated. Was victory selling, or was it something more? Raj's response to the multi-million-dollar offer was a calm, respectful no. To the tech world, it was madness. To Raj, it was the sanest decision of his life. He sent an email to his small team with a single line: "Let's build something that lasts, not something that sells quickly." A year later, Minimal Flow wasn't just a success, it was a movement. 10 million users who, like Raj, were seeking simplicity in a world of excess. And Raj was no longer just a CEO. He became a teacher. In university lectures, he didn't talk about the secrets of success, but about the genius of failure. He showed his failure diary, now his most precious possession, and taught his most important lesson. Failure isn't the end of your code. It's the source code. It's the comment that guides you to the next version, stronger and wiser. Our story ends where the transformation began, at the Flourished Spoon. But now, Raj isn't alone at his table. He's leaning over the laptop of a young developer, whose face shows the same mix of panic and potential he once felt. He doesn't give her answers. He hands her a blank notebook and shares the map he learned in the ashes. At the back of the café, Nina, the mentor who started it all, watches the scene. She sips her coffee with a smile of someone seeing a cycle come full circle. The lesson had been learned, and now it was being passed on. Raj's story is a powerful lesson for a world obsessed with success. It teaches us that failure isn't the opposite of success, but an essential ingredient of it. Our mistakes aren't tombstones, they're maps, and every bug in our path is a teacher in disguise. If this lesson resonated with you, leave a comment below telling us what was the most important line of code a past failure taught you. Like and share this video so more people learn to find wisdom in their mistake. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that help you learn English. Until next time, embrace your bugs, study your code, and build a better version.